Okay, we are recording. Hello, I want to apologize right up front because I didn't put up all the lights, so maybe the lighting is all messed up. I didn't feel like putting up the lights this time because I wasn't exactly sure that I wasn't going to talk on camera, but maybe I will say a few words before I actually start with this video. So we are at the point of like 17 pages into the comic, of which 12 of those pages are the latest story. And so like this comic is like a series of little stories because I'm building up my ability to write longer and longer stories. So this last one was 12 pages. It is all inked and like drawn and inked, but it's not colored. So that is the goal of this latest iteration, is to color the 12 pages before we get into the next story. And I'm realizing that this is very challenging because it's outside of the realm of projects that I've done in the past. And I also am experimenting a lot with, like, sorry for the sirens in the background if you can hear them, but like I'm experimenting a lot with like Taco King's world and Taco King's environment and what colors to use in that world. And all of a sudden there's like a lot of sirens. And so I'm thinking, though, the problem is, like, my first story I did like green grass, blue sky. And while that's great because grass is green and sky is blue, I don't always want to get into that habit of doing what is close to reality. I want to get out of that headspace and pick and choose colors that I wouldn't normally pick and choose for certain objects, just to start making things look different. I feel like I'm still in a very realistic mindset, and I'm trying to get away from the realism and make it look more fun and more cartoony. And I want you to be dropped into Taco King's world a little bit more and out of this world. So it's gonna take some time because I'm stuck in like reality, and but that's just gonna take time and really thinking critically about every object and every color that I draw. But for the time being, I have been experimenting with some colors and just doing like quick experimentations that I don't color the whole thing, but I just color like little pieces within those 12 pages, trying to get a sense of what to do with it and the style at which I want to proceed with 12 pages, because obviously you want the 12 pages to look consistent across. So that has been a challenge. So I've made these printouts, and they're not even close to final. They're more like experiments on color. And the problem that I'm having is that I don't know exactly how I want to color this, what color palette to use. I don't even know exactly what brushes to use for the coloring. I've decided what brush to use for the inking, and the inking is all done, but the coloring is the thing that is really just kind of challenging to me. And I've tried a lot of techniques, and maybe I'll explain here like what I've tried to do. Like this one, for example, I tried to do it in a more like a solid brush, and it's not even totally solid. like this has a little bit of texture to it. This has a little bit of texture, but it's more solid than this. This feels very solid, almost like it was done in Illustrator, and I don't know that I'm crazy about that. I'm trying to avoid that look. This looks like more like Copic marker, and I like this little area, and I like this little area because it looks like almost like a sketch, you know, it looks rough. But I do like the highlights there. Here's another example. This one, I love this one probably the most, and it's not even, you know, like, it's the fastest coloring job I did, and I wasn't even thinking about accuracy or anything, but I love this one the most because it looks super messy and sketchy, and it kind of feels alive in comparison to some of the other things. This one's not too bad. It's got a little bit of texture, a little bit of brush stroke in there. The colors aren't quite right on it, but it's not that bad. This one, you know, I tried to do it a little more accurately, and this is mainly 3 colors, which is the blue, the pink, and the green. And I just think it's like okay. It's a style, you know, and I thought maybe if I stuck to like 3 colors, well, beyond that I have like, you know, he's colored in his normal color palette, but everything else is like the blue, the pink, or the green. And I just think it's like okay. This one I was playing around with like different brushes and more pastel color palette, and so you can see I'm really just messing around with like brushes and colors. I kind of like the pastels. I kind of like that this has some liveliness in the sky. This one, I don't know what I was doing. I was again playing with colors and more brushes, and this has you know, a little bit look of like a dark room, like he's reading in a room. And this mostly one color, just at different like opacities. But I'm just, I don't know what to do with this. I'm having such a hard time, and I didn't think I was gonna have such a hard time with the color. You know, I thought the color was gonna be the fun and easy part, but it's not proving to be the case. This feels very overwhelming, and it's turning out to be the most challenging part of the whole thing is the color. And I thought it was going to be the absolute opposite. I thought that maybe the story or the drawing part would be the hardest things to figure out. But I've really been like slowed down by this whole color thing, and it's been going on too long, and I haven't quite established the style yet. So I guess I was just sharing my struggle, and haven't really come to a decision, but this one is the favorite out of all of this experimental work. It's also the messiest, and the one I thought about the least, but it's the one I like the best. So I don't know where to go from here. I guess I just keep doing more trials until I get to somewhere that I like. It's just taking forever, you know, and I want to get on to the next story. Okay, let's talk a little bit about color because I'm starting to lose my mind a little bit. So I have these printouts. This is the latest one. And I'm really struggling with this color. Not necessarily the color palette. I think the color palette is okay. But I think the problem that I'm having is that this comic story is like 12 pages long. And I guess the question is, how do I carry that color across the 12 pages fairly consistently? Like, I know that I'm not going to have consistency across the book. I know that for a fact because a lot of this book is about experimentation. So I don't want to limit myself to one style across all 32 pages, but I at least want consistency within each little story. I'm at least hoping for that. But as you can see, like here's where I'm at. I've colored a number of pages and only like partial pages in a variety of different ways. I have one here, like you can see, this is the first page of this story. It's mostly in blue. It's 3 colors. And this one, I didn't really color the character, but I colored the background. And, you know, I was looking at what it would look like if it was like a gradient in the background and limited color palette. These would be fine if they were living unto themselves without any other pages attached to them. Problem is when you start laying these pages next to each other, for example, this one, and now I'm like, well, now this story does not look connected to this story. These look like completely different comics to me. And so then I scrapped this, even though I colored it twice and I spent so much time doing it. So then I got to something like this, which is a little bit closer, because I'm actually liking this style a lot. This like pastel-y kind of look. This, I don't pay attention to this, I was just experimenting with brushes. But like, I like this look, so I tried to carry it across with like, you know, like this page I think relates to this page. I don't know why the black is coming out really light. Something's wrong with the printer. But I think in general I have the same kind of like pastel, light colored look. And so these are getting closer to each other. This one still is off, and maybe it's because I thought maybe if I just fix the background, you know, then I could leave the rest of it how it is. But now I'm thinking I can't because this has leftover presence from the other concept that I was using, which was this one, which was mostly using like 3 colors. You know, I wanted to limit the colors here. And so now I think I have to just totally adopt this, which is using more color, but the light pastel colors and less gradients or less textures, I think. So, because when I look at this, see, I like the way this is colored. I don't know that I liked this because it was more like solid, you know, even though it has texture. You know, I wasn't totally going for this solid look, but I tried that here, and this isn't even totally solid. You can't tell in the printout, but it has some texture, but it did present an easier way to color it, and I might have to use it across all 12 pages because I think it'll be easier. But these two still don't relate to each other to me. Like this is still too dark compared to this one and compared to something like this. These are still unrelated to me. So we're not there yet, but this is really, really tough to carry across color across 12 pages. And I think I'm getting there. Where's the other one? Oh, and here's some more experiments. You see, like, this is the same room. Like, okay, so this is the Huff and Puff's gym. And in this gym, it's like darker and there's like more gradients. And this one, it's lighter. It's more pastel. There's less gradients. And I feel like it matches this better. It's closer. So I think that's probably the way to go. Even though I like this, I really do like this first scene here. But this does take a lot longer, putting in the gradients and stuff like that. I'm not saying I will give up on the gradients altogether, but it's just so time consuming. The color part is just so time consuming. So I think we're getting closer. We're still not there yet, but I think we're making progress. See, this one is feeling closer than it was before. I don't know if I ever printed this one out, but like, see, these two, they kind of go together, and I think the way the comic goes, like, this goes like this goes like this. This is this the next page? You turn the page. 1, 2. No, it's not. It's not. This is the next page. As if like this. If this were folded. So these two go together. Then you turn the page. Then you're going to see something like this. Right? And this would go like that. And that would go like that. But yeah, they still have to feel like they relate to each other, and we're just not there yet. See, these two, yeah, they still have... Now I'm feeling like there's just too much blue in this, and this is going back to that idea that I had that maybe I was only going to use 3 colors throughout this entire comic, and the 3-color thing is just not working out, which really sucks because now I have to go back and color this. Essentially, I feel like this is too blue and it's too dark in comparison to like this. And I think, and this one I didn't shade yet. Like I was going to put some kind of like highlights and little shadows. I started hinting at kind of like lighting here. It might be too much, but I don't know. Might as well try it out and see. But generally they still, yeah, we're getting closer, but I do think I have to make some justifications, or, I'm sorry, modifications. I don't know what I'm talking about, modifications. Okay. I guess we go back to Procreate at this point.
I'll tell you.
Doesn't want to say.
All right, we are filming in the lovely city of Chicago. I have the beautiful skyline behind me. And I thought I would give you a little bit of an update on what's been going on with the comic book and if I've made any progress. So I've been working on the color for the latest story, and I can't say that the story is done at this point in time. It's been a really long time. It's been like months because I don't have that much time to work on this comic book. So I work on it in my spare time, and which that really just, it extends the timeline out a lot. I've gotten tired of coloring this thing. So what I've decided to do is put the coloring aside for a little bit because I just feel like I'm stuck. And I've decided to move on to the next story, and it's given me a little bit of like I feel refreshed, kind of, starting a new story. And I've written the storyline, and I've done some of the initial sketches, and I like where it's going. And it's not to say that I'm going to give up on the other story. I'm just putting it aside for a little bit of time until I feel like, I don't know, I could go back and try and conquer it again. I definitely feel like I could still get this comic book done, but it doesn't feel like it's going to be the initial 32 pages of which I planned. It looks more like maybe in the 40 page realm, which is kind of a lot and not what I expected. But maybe it's better to have more story than less story. I would hate it if I was like, I didn't have enough pages, and to have more pages than what I need, I think it's the better thing. So, sorry to disappoint if I've disappointed anyone. This comic is getting done, and I feel like now that I have a more consistent schedule of like drawing and working in the evenings, I'm making more progress on it, and I'm working faster. Because I think when I started out this comic book, I was working painfully slowly, and now I'm starting to draw faster, think faster, work faster, and work more efficiently. It also helps that I updated the iPad, and I actually want to do a video just on the M4 iPad Pro, because it is really just an amazing device to work with. I am so pleased that I got it, and it has that, like, the nano texture display, and that has been amazing as well. So I want to do a separate video about that, but just know that progress is being made, and the next video is probably going to be about the next story that I'm working on, most likely. All right, have a good day, everyone. I'll talk to you later.